Okay, yeah.
Well, I needed to put something on it to check it, so I've connected a separate load to it anyway.
Right, so this Saturn's gone tomorrow then. I was going to ask you if you could put the belt on, because when I was photographing it and moving about, just for you to show me how you put the belt on, that would be really helpful.
It comes off so easily, doesn't it?
It comes off really easy.
Yeah, frankly, I'd leave it in a bag.
I will. I just want to film how it puts on, how it goes on, so that the guy who's buying it can see that.
Yeah.
I know it's on the paperwork and all that. Yeah. So yeah, let's have a look at the 4HF at first. I've got rid of my lights. They're not here. They're in storage at the moment. So we're in the dark.
I thought I didn't need me shades on today.
Yeah. I tell you, we've been really busy lately. We've been doing all these posters, and we've got them all A0 printed out. We've got the environment. Sundays we're shooting films, doing technician films, going through amplifiers at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the quads and all that to go through. Yeah, it's a shame we don't have these record decks to go through with you. That would have been a real nice thing. Yeah. It's a big environment where we've got space and we've got lighting and all that, and lots of table space and all that. But one day in the future we'll catch up and we'll get a few of these record decks again and have a look at your Torrens and your
180.
Yeah, the 180 and the jukebox would be real nice, and that crystal thing that you got with the crystal glass cylinder player.
Oh, the cylinder.
I'd really like to look at that. That would be really nice.
Complete, sadly, because
don't matter.
Only because there's a gear that's stripped. So
right.
It won't work. I can't get the.
Is that right?
Yeah. There's a gear inside it that's made out of that soft sort of Paxilin material.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because if they're all brass, it'd be very noisy.
Right.
So you've got brass against this Paxilin. It's very soft, and obviously what's happened over the years is just worn it away.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But
Something can happen.
Somebody who can cut a new one, it won't work.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's springs there, so I mean it runs, but the governor doesn't work because this thing's split. So the minute you let it go, it goes about 300 miles an hour.
It'd still be fascinating to have a look at. I saw a galvanometer the other day for sale. I might buy it just for the
galvanometer.
Yeah, really old thing, isn't it? Really, about £20. I mean, if it goes for 20 quid, nice to look at the coils and the meter, and it had some sort of gauge, sort of rheostat, I would imagine, or something like that to go on with it.
I mean, a galvanometer normally you put in, it's to measure in a bridge.
Oh, in a bridge, yeah. Just a nice looking thing, really.
Measuring the balance, so there's always got 0 point, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So you put it in a bridge and then you tune for
I might get that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I might get that. It looks. Yeah, I see. That makes sense. So, what have you done to the 4HF? You cleaned it all up. I can see that all
we've done a bit of everything.
The metal work has come up nice. Is it a TPA 10 or 12? I never know.
To be honest, I don't know. No. The thing is, it is the later version of this arm because it's got the tracking weight adjuster on there.
So that is a 12.
How it's done on the others, the earlier ones, I don't know. Presumably there's a screw underneath or something. But as you turn that, it just tensions the spring.
Nice. Beautiful. 4HF, H model.
H. Now, H means high voltage.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Okay. A lot of Garrards, when you get to the cable connector, this.
Yeah.
When you get underneath there, you've normally got 2 screw terminals for your wires to go on.
That's right.
And 4 other posts, and you put links between various posts according to what voltage you want it to operate on.
Oh, okay.
This is fixed. You can't change this.
So it's only 240?
Yeah.
Right.
So you should run your mains cable in through this to clamp it.
Oh, yes.
And then connect it to the 2 screw terminals underneath.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
ideally take a third wire and add it to this little earth tag here.
Right there. I see
that side of the earth tag is earth back down here to the chassis. Because the motor's totally rubber mounted.
Okay, beautiful. Suspension. Yeah.
So what I've done, I've had the cap off the bearing. It's not exactly the same as the 301. The thrust bearing's actually the other way around.
Okay.
So it actually runs on this tin plate, amazingly, rather than the bush in the bottom and then the ball being above it. But the principle is the same. So I've had that off. Right. I've cleaned everything. Put the new gasket on, done it back up, topped it up with oil, lubricated the other side. There's a felt pad round the top, so that's all lubricated.
Beautiful.
I've cleaned off everything as much as I can everywhere I can. Taken off the little bit of signal cable that was on there because that's only a fuse issue, so I've taken that off. Yeah. This had failed exactly as it had on the 301 that we did the other week. Yeah.
Who did you get that from? Do you remember?
Exactly the same guy I bought the last one off because I just went to the purchase and went buy another.
Wondering if that's retro tone, the same guy that.
I don't think it is, but I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
So anyway, it's had a new one of those, so that's all attached and soldered on as appropriate. I've had the bottom off the motor so I can get to the bottom bearing, cleaned it, fresh drop of oil on that. the whole of the speed change mechanism, which revolves around this affair, was quite stiff.
Right.
So that's all been apart and re-lubricated and put back together as well, along with anything else that seemed to need it. I was a bit confused by all this mechanism here, never having played with one of these decks before.
Right.
But it turns out it's very, very simple.
Yeah, of course.
As you might expect.
Like the 301. There's no auto apart from when I stop.
Well, you can have auto stop or not, which is quite clever.
Yeah.
I suppose there were records where if the arm went too far in, it would trigger the auto stop before it had actually got to the end of the record.
Yes.
So
you can switch
with
it
the arm in the rest position, you choose which you want with these two buttons.
Yeah.
So if you want auto stop,
Right.
you press the auto stop button down and release it. It springs back.
Yeah.
So when you switch on, bring the arm across the record now. We spin the turntable, and I'm running out of hands a little bit, but if I spin the turntable and then move the arm across, you could hear it fire to switch the motor off.
Okay, brilliant.
If I press the button, the non-auto button down and do the same thing, switch it on, no auto stop.
Nothing. Good, good.
But
Beautiful.
it does auto stop when you rest on there. You notice this goes up and down.
Oh, right, yeah.
So that shuts it off. So if I give that a spin again,
Quite clever.
put the arm on here,
Oh, nice. Yeah,
okay,
beautiful.
you hear the auto stop engage.
So it's 1950s this deck, is that right?
I would think this is probably a later one, slightly
early 60s.
later. Probably is just into the 60s.
Oh, right. Late 59, 60s.
It's only a guess. I don't.
You've done a good job of
base
cleaning it, I must say.
This device was. I don't know what the heck this is on. Right, the devil's own job getting the blooming thing off. Well, I'm just twisting it and pulling it at the same time.
Yeah, I got a few of those, funny enough. They went on the earlier decks as well.
But it's. I mean, I'm sure really that should just lift off there, but that's so tight.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what we're used to with this sort of old.
So when I put it back, all I did was I just put it back on just a little way rather than
Probably
jam it
hasn't
on.
been used. Probably been on there for most of its life.
Well, yeah, the previous owners probably couldn't get the wretched thing off, so it probably never has been off until I took it off.
Okay. So you've done a speed check,
But that's it. Yeah.
and it's
So
all
I
lovely.
had the mains on it. Each speed. My strobe disc unfortunately only works on 33 and 45.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have 16 or 78, but I've no reason to assume that they would
No,
be
no.
any further out than the standard ones.
Right.
And with the speed adjuster, you can make it go from just slightly more than the speed to just a little bit lower.
Brilliant.
How much I don't know. It's probably only to plus or minus 2 or 3%.
Oh, really? Okay.
But it was noticeable. It did make a difference.
Yes,
so,
you can hear the
And if it's making a difference, well, I couldn't hear
Yeah,
it. I was
see
playing
the
a record on
difference.
it. There's no
Yeah,
sound coming out.
What's on there?
But just with
98?
a lamp hanging over the top of it, you can see on the strobe,
Yeah.
you know, the lines going round this way or this way.
Yeah, yeah.
So as you set it, you can make the lines stand perfectly still, or you can make them go that
There's
way.
electronic guns for
Oh,
that
yeah.
from China, about £80. I don't know how well they work, but they
Well,
reckon.
there's no need for them anyway. A standard strobe disc and a 50 hertz.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just a normal light bulb over the top, and you can see. You don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Fancy. I mean, if they're selling you a gun, they're selling you a gun that flashes its
Well, I
light at
wonder.
50 hertz.
I wonder.
Now, if it's not an accurate 50 hertz, it's no use.
Well, it's going to be a digital reader. It's a digital reader, and it tells you anything that spins. You don't need a marker on it at all.
Oh, really?
It can be an
Okay.
idler wheel.
All right.
It can be one of these turntables.
Okay.
I just wonder if it breaks. You know, how do we send it back to Hong Kong to get it fixed and all the rest of it? That's the only
trouble
thing.
yourself with it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's worthwhile.
All right, then.
Not
I'm
worth the trouble.
very pleased with this deck. I must say, it looks beautiful. I'll take a picture of it. And so
It's
we've
a
got.
shame the mat's a little bit. It's
Yeah,
quite
the
hard,
mat
isn't it?
has gone a bit stiff,
It's got
and
that, so
there's
this
some
happens.
marks.
Well, this usually happens on these when you leave something on it.
Oh, right.
You know, have you not seen this on most portable record players? When the mains cable gets coiled up on the top and the lid's shut, and you end up with marks on the mat.
Yeah.
And it's the pressure of the mains cable sitting on it for sort of like 20 years in the loft. You know.
Yeah.
That's what
But
it
the
is.
compound structure just goes after all them years,
Yeah,
doesn't it, really?
and you know it's got a few cracks in it, and certainly if you try to flex it too
There's
much,
many
it'll give
people
up.
still
There
doing it.
should
It's a
be
good
a
platter
clip
reference.
in that ring.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Yeah, the instruction book manual, when I started check through, it said, right, remove the clip. I thought, well, there isn't one. There probably should be a clip there. And I wonder if maybe on top of it, a little disc that says Garrard or whatever, you know, like you get on things like the
That does make
AT6 and
sense.
whatever.
Does make
So
sense.
that's probably, when I wasn't there when you gave
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
as you know.
No, it wasn't. No, certainly not. Okay, is there a cartridge in there?
There is,
98?
yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
check it at all?
Well, I can't really check the cartridge. To take the cartridge out, you lift this to the vertical.
Yes.
And that frees that up and it'll unplug.
Brilliant.
So what I did do, I buzzed the terminals in here. There are actually 4 terminals, only 3 of them are used.
Oh, yes.
But I buzzed the terminals in there with a meter back to the tag strip underneath to make sure that was continuous and made sense.
Yes.
And then I looked to see which pin was each channel and looked in here, and that seemed to be correct as well.
Beautiful.
So I have buzzed it through. I can't check the cartridge without actually plugging it into something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I'd certainly say, the cartridge itself is probably okay.
They're fetching good money apparently now. Someone was telling me the other day.
What, the 98?
98s, yeah, the
so
HC, especially
this
the
isn't the HC.
Oh, I see.
Totally different cartridge.
Oh, okay, that's probably why. Yeah.
Totally
High
different
compliance.
cartridge. This that you have here is an HC.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've got many of them. I've got so many of them. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Well, that's a very different cartridge from that, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Very different.
It's a totally different cartridge.
Yeah.
And this particular one requires a special connector that plugs into the end of that, which would then have solder tangs on the end.
You've got to make sure
because you should never solder direct to a cartridge
of course.
and wreck it in terms of the heat.
Yeah, the heat.
So these tangs are just pushed on.
All right. Okay. Nice.
I wasn't overly impressed with the mounting on it because it's a bit sort of.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But that's the way it's mounted. I mean, you can't do anything about that. It's a very thin steel mounting, and it's just attached to 2 standoffs.
Yeah.
Ideally, that should have had a flatter
area
to give that some support. Frankly, I wouldn't be very happy with that.
Yeah.
Almost certainly, if the cartridge is fine, that's one thing, but I would certainly put a new stylus on it anyway.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. When you did the Saturn, did you do a buzz check on the cartridge on that one? Make sure the DIN was all connected? The 3-pin or 5-pin DIN, is it? Do you remember?
I can't remember whether I buzzed that one or not.
Yeah, don't worry. The next owner can get into all that.
I really can't remember.
Yeah, don't worry. All right, beautiful. Let's.
But it's nice.
Why have we only got 3 pins and then later on it was 4-pin?
Well, you only need 3, don't you? Left channel, right channel, and a common earth.
Yeah.
But they tend normally to do it the other way around.
Right.
So you'll have common and earth for each channel separately.
Yeah.
So what's in there is actually 2 separate cables.
All right.
Which is the way you would expect it to be. So it's been prepared for stereo, so there's 2 separate cables coming out.
Yeah.
And each one of those, when you get to the end of it, you can see the brown one.
Yeah.
It goes to here, the centre goes to there,
right.
and the earth screen goes to there.
Yeah.
This one, the other channel, the earth screen look has been done away with.
Oh, I see.
It's not there at all.
No need for it.
But, well, no, and if it existed, you'd connect it here.
Right.
But what they've done is they've commoned it up at the head shell end.
Okay, right. So you only need one common for left and right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So when you're soldering a new cable to this, or new cables for a new amplifier, you just attach your left and right channels according to which one it is, and the earth onto the centre.
Just strange how later on they did do a 4-pin and they didn't continue doing 3 pins like that.
It is marked on there, so stamped into here there's an L and an R.
Oh, I see.
So you've got left and right channel.
Yeah.
There was only a cable attached to here when you go to just a little bit that had been cut off where it had been removed from the piece of equipment you took it from.
No, it was me who took it out.
You did.
Came from a Mazurka. Dynatron. Yeah, exactly, Mazurka. Yeah.
I'm surprised really that Dynatron would use something
me as well.
More accustomed to using.
Yeah, it was a common thing. They were commonly.
Any value really, the Dynatron.
Yeah, really. I like the amps. I think the amps are quite nice. Yeah, well, they're better than obviously better than Danson.
They're an expensive name because they like to put things like by royal appointment and all that, like Hacker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I don't think they're anything special really.
Yeah, just a bit better than
normally these just push in.
At the time.
But they can be a little bit loose. So what they've done on this is like a little cam, and as you turn that down,
I like that.
That actually locks that up so it's nice and firm.
Yeah, it's good arm in that sense.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a heavy arm. You wouldn't want to fancy it. I read things about people saying, "Oh yes, I've put my Shure M75 ED Type 2." What, in an arm like that?
Yeah, what's the point? Yeah.
That arm's okay for a cartridge like that. It's far too high mass.
Yeah.
Far too high. Yeah. You might put an M44 in it.
M44, sure. Right.
Yeah, M44. Something that can track at a reasonable weight. that arm won't track at a gram or a gram and a half like you want to.
Oh really? You need heavy
far
tracking
too
weight.
heavy for that. It's far too bulky.
So we got on there about 2-3 grams, 4
I've
grams.
no idea. I haven't made any attempt to set it up.
Okay.
I don't see any point in me doing
Not
that.
yet, yeah. Until
The
the
next
ship.
purchaser can read
Yeah.
the flipping information online and make his own arrangements. There's no point in me trying to set that in a particular way because I don't know what it'll do.
Brilliant. Well, I'm happy. You've done a good
I
job.
don't know what that cartridge will track at, to be honest, but probably 3 or 4 grams.
Yeah, it's about that. I would say, yeah, 2.8 or so.
It
Yeah.
would just be a guess, but something like that. And frankly, very often it's safer to track a little bit heavier
Yeah, you said that
rather
before.
than lighter.
Yeah,
If you
nice.
track too light, it'll skip.
Yeah,
And then the stylus will damage the record.
And which causes even more problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get distortion, and that distortion is damaging the groove of the record permanently.
We've got loads of AT6s. I've got about 5 of them to do. But I'm going to give them to the other guy if he wants them. And then I said to him, all I want is just one that's in nice condition.
Yeah.
I'll fit that to the biscuit tin, this whole thing here. And I'll just have my own version, and that's all I care about. He loves these, the UA12s. And they are really nice looking decks, I must say. It's a BSR UA12.
Yeah.
I've got 3 of them, so that he's going to turn up and probably pick up all these old
the
spears.
model numbers of.
Yeah, I know, I don't
of
half the
these,
time.
I'm afraid.
I've only learned it recently because I had to.
Largely because the minute I see BSR, I get very disinterested in it anyway. I think they're terrible.
Yeah, I'm like that with Gold Ring. Yeah, okay. Brilliant. I'm happy with this. Great.